Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good evening to some of you, good afternoon. Yes. Wow, what a great week it's been. I know our team has served you well. Connie Jones, Michelle Watson, Ash Lumley served you well. It's so good to be on with you today. I'm my blog and podcast this week are on changing your words, change your life. And so I wanted to bring this into my Facebook live family today. I'll just tell you some things going on. Our dog Buddy is back. Our new puppy, 3 months old, who's been at puppy boot camp. And so he's back and he's still needing quite a bit of attention. Got up early this morning and got my brother Phil here, who was co-author of the book Culture of Empowerment. And he's here today and drove down from Washington with his wife Judy, and we are filming for our Culture of Empowerment course that we're planning on doing in the summer, starting in June. So that's happening. Rochelle, good morning. Cindy, Carmen, yay. Trust you had a good time with Mario Murillo yesterday. You and a lot of my team went down there to, I think, in Manteca to Mario Murillo's meetings. Jessica, Catherine, Ho, Paul, good morning. Terry, Judy, another one of my team members was down there with Mario Murillo. Robin, Matthew, Peggy, thanks for joining us today. Hey, this is a good day. This is a good day where we welcome uh, new people. If this is your first time or you've never put in the chat that you're here and you would like to do that, and you can just say where you're from, that would be so good. So good. Barbara, Colorado, Doreen, yes, Valerie Light there in Texas. So, we're talking today about a powerful verse, James 3:2. It says this in the Passion Translation. Listen to this. Listen to what it says. It says, we all fail in many areas. You know what's interesting? We miss the mark in many areas. And even so, we're still the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. Hey, Zach, I love what's going on at Renew Life Church. Yes, Carmen, something is happening today. David, glad you joined us here from Reading. Felicity, so good to have you all with us. And so James 3:2 says we all fail in many areas, but especially with our words. Wow. I mean, it's saying that we're all still in process, in the sanctification process. And but we especially fail with our words. Now, it's interesting that that would be what would be highlighted. That would be focused on. Now, listen to this. He goes on to say, yet if we're able to bridle the words we say, we are powerful enough to control ourselves in every way. Yet if we are able to bridle the words we say, we are powerful enough to control ourselves in every way. That means our character is mature and fully developed. Now, it's an incredible statement. Now, later in the chapter, James in chapter 3 says, our words are like a bit in a horse's mouth and a rudder on a ship. Renee, great to see you here from Idaho. We love you guys up there. So, our, our words are directing agents of our lives. I like to say this: the future is in the mouths of intentional speakers. The future's in the mouths of intentional speakers. Now, let me just say this right up front. We won't have something just by saying something. But saying something is necessary to having something. Saying something is part of the process to renew our minds, the process of sanctification, the process of creating life where it looks dead. Romans 4:17, God who gives life to the dead by calling those things that are not as though they are. So it is a major part of the process of seeing something happen. And if we ignore words, and here's the thing, and I'm going to try to make this point today, that if we actually focus on the beliefs that are behind the words that we speak, then we are going to accelerate the changing of life. We can control our whole life if we can. It's not just mechanically speaking certain words. It's actually allowing the words to reveal to us what we actually believe and why we're saying them. Now, in Matthew 12:34, it says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so, words are a reflection of our beliefs. Now, words reveal our beliefs, and words can change our beliefs. And let me just say something about words changing our beliefs. Romans 10:17 says, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. God told Joshua in Joshua 1:8, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do all that is written in it. Then you will make your way prosperous. Then you will be of good success. And so the end of that is you will make your way prosperous. You will be of good success. And then you will actually, it comes from starting off by not letting the book of the law depart from our mouths. And so, just some verses here, and then I want to get back to how words reveal what we believe. Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Those who love the truth that life is in the power of the tongue will eat the fruit of their past words. In Ephesians 4:29, it says, let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers. And so I'm one of the greatest hearers of my own words. I get to control on one level how much grace I receive into my life. And one of the best definitions of grace is the empowerment to do God's will. It's the empowerment to do God's will. But words also reveal what we believe. And as we're a student of our words, as we reflect on what are the beliefs behind what we're saying, we we can get on a fast track of transformation and growth. Now, let me just give you some indicators that you and I might not believe our words are powerful. If we can say things like this: shame on you, shame on me, my back is killing me, it's driving me nuts, I'm not a prophetic person, I don't remember names well, I have to do this today. I mean, these are all indicators that we don't believe our words are powerful. And because if we can just say things like that and not understand what's behind those words, and not understand the more we say them, because faith comes by hearing, and the more we speak what is not in agreement with who we really are, but is in agreement maybe with past experience or even uh, phrases that people use, uh, then we're just going to repeat it, and it's just going to get stronger. It's going to get that stronghold is going to get stronger in our lives. Now, Zechariah, I mean, in Luke 1, Zechariah, basically, God said, I can't trust you to speak around what I am doing. I can't trust you to speak around what I'm doing. So he's muted for 9 months. He's muted for 9 months. And that's very enlightening. Now, words are not simply to be used to describe our lives. Matter of fact, if that's all we use our words for is to describe our lives, describe what's happening, then we do not understand the power of words. Words are more importantly to be used to change our lives, to change our lives. And so again, we look at, okay, why? We're in James 3:2. And if you just jumped on, let me read James 3:2 again. We all fail in many areas, but especially with our words. Yet if we're able to bridle the words we say, we are powerful enough to control ourselves in every way. And again, this is saying if you can control your words, you can control your life. And that may seem like a ridiculous thing, but there's a principle there. There's a spiritual law. And I'll say it again, I'm not just talking about mechanically changing our words, even though it may feel like that in the beginning. It may feel like that. It may feel so untrue, because the most important things we need to say are going to be the most difficult things to say. It's going to, because our strongholds hate hope, and our strongholds are going to fight us from saying anything that's going to break us out of what that stronghold believes. So we start off with just recognizing, all right, it's kind of like a twofold process here, what I'm talking about. Number one is we just start being a student of our words. Why do I say that? Why do I say I am not a prophetic person? And I wouldn't say that now, but I would have said that earlier. And really, the reason I say that is because I'm getting my beliefs out of my past rather than who God says I am. And so that's, once we're able to identify that, it's like the Lord took the phrase, "Who told you that?" out of Genesis 3:11. Who told you that? And I would say things that were in agreement with the past, not in agreement with Him. he'd constantly ask me, "Who told you that?" Again, I said, "I don't remember names well. Who told you that?" I'm a non-administrative person. Who told you that? This area is hard for the gospel. Who told you that? And I realized that pretty much most of my beliefs came out of the past and what I've observed rather than what he's saying. And we don't deny the past, we just don't get our beliefs out of it. We don't deny it's hard, we just don't call it hard. Because the moment we call it hard, that becomes the problem. That becomes bigger than anything the devil's doing. Because that's the stronghold. And the strongholds that are blocking God aren't really demonic principalities, they're belief things in our minds. That's the greatest one. So we take inventory. And so often it will reveal that we are getting our beliefs in the past. We keep taking inventory of the words we say. It can be false humility statements. I'm a sinner. I'm just a servant of God, or whatever. And then we analyze those statements, and then it often is going to come back to we don't really understand the new creation, who we are. We don't understand the finished work of the cross. And so again, going afterwards, and the beginning point is being a student of our words. Or if we're a speaker and we overuse the words you should, you must, you need to, if we overuse those words or with our children or whoever, then it reveals that the beliefs that we have about the person are not high enough. And I get into that in my book, Culture of Empowerment. We're not empowering because we're actually putting a law on people. And we're not speaking edifying words of grace. Now, certainly we need to challenge people's behavior. We need with our kids to tell them what to do, but it needs to be in the context of where there's been a whole lot of life that's already been spoken. And so once we do the inventory of, okay, what am I speaking? Why do I use the words I use? Then we go into the next thing, and that's just speaking life. Because Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. And certainly there's death words, there's corrupting words, as Ephesians 4:29 would say. But then we realize that the greater truth is that life is in the power of the tongue. Life is in the power of the tongue. Morning, Isaac, Scott. Morning, Tien, Terry. And we start replacing those words that are corrupting words, that are death words, that are release spiritual pollution into the atmosphere for myself and others. And then we increasingly speak life. And we do what Romans 4:17 says, God who gives life to the dead by calling those things that do not exist as though they did. And we start calling things that do not exist as though they did in our lives, around us. Certainly most of my calling of things is in my own personal life. Certainly I'll do it with my team, my group, whoever I'm with. But it's mainly just as I'm walking around, I'm talking about me. I wrote a book called You're Crazy If You Don't Talk to Yourself. And that book has got a lot of good principles of what I'm saying today, as does my book Declarations, Unlocking Your Future. Those two books are so powerful. So the point I'm making today is that James 3:2 says, if we change our words, we can change our life. If we, I think the King James says, if we bridle our tongue, we can bridle our body. And that's an astounding thing. And I believe for all of us that this is a season where there's unbridled speaking going on that's out of victim mindsets, that's out of anger. And this is a season where sin abounds, grace abounds much more. And this is a season where there is grace for people to start speaking life like never before. And as we go to the depths of why we use the words we use, ask the Lord for wisdom on why we're phrasing the things the way we phrase them, what the way we phrase it means about what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about the people we're talking to, what we believe about circumstances. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Then we're on the fast track of transformation. And I can tell you this in my own life, what I'm experiencing right now is so linked to applying this principle 25 years ago, when I began to be a student of my words and when I began to speak life and declare life over me and over that which concerned me. And the things at that time, some of the things I declared sounded ridiculous, but it's happened and it's continuing to happen. So, hey, wow, what a joy to be with you today. Hey, thanks everybody for jumping on. Isaac, don't know if I've said hi to you. And Joanne, hello. Yes. Anadia from South Africa, thanks for joining us today. What a great day. This topic today, and I shared in the beginning that it's a blog and podcast I'm doing this week as well, so it's fresh on my mind. Hey, a couple announcements we're doing is starting on Monday, March 8th, we're doing a 12-week online course, Thriving Church Leadership. It's using my book, Help, I Am a Pastor. And it's going to be a great course where we're going to focus on thriving in 4 areas: thriving in beliefs, thriving in relationships, thriving in church structure, and thriving in the supernatural. And so you can find that at ignitinghopeacademy.thinkific.com. Just that may be a long thing. Just go Igniting Hope Academy, do an online search, and you'll find that. And that's going to be a great thing for current church leaders, whether you're a senior pastor, you're a home group leader, you're an elder, core team member, or you just feel called into deeper church influence. It's going to be a great class. That's coming up. So, hey, God bless everybody. Thanks. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Be back with you on Monday.